You could call them ticking time bombs, drunk drivers who are still drinking, still driving after multiple DUI convictions. 9 Wants to Know has uncovered hundreds, possibly thousands of those threats still driving on Colorado's roads.
Investigator Kevin Bond tells us about one such drunk driver who changed how one family in Colorado will celebrate Christmas for the rest of their lives.
I remember literally as she walked in the door, I looked at her and I said, I could marry her.
Ask Brett Shaw about Sancy Florquist.
It was, love at first sight.
And there's a flicker in his eyes.
We were married July 12th. Yeah, it was, this July will be 16 years.
Their whirlwind romance gave way to a whirlwind life. 4 kids, the baby a daughter they named Charlie. Endless adventures in the outdoors. Sancy wore a lot of hats. Wife and mother and teacher, sister, angler, runner, and friend.
I looked at all the stuff that we had.
A life that came into focus for Brett when he cleaned out his garage last month.
And the reality is that if we had an opportunity to organize or clean the garage, or we had an opportunity to go outdoors and build memories with our family, we were building memories with our family.
Now those memories are tinged with pain after what happened on Interstate 70 on Christmas Eve. Chronic drunken drivers have plagued Colorado for decades. 4 years ago, fed-up legislators tried to crack down on them. People like Richard Strock, who smashed into a guardrail and killed his wife, his 19th DUI. Governor John Hickenlooper's signature made any DUI after the 3rd a felony.
I think that at a certain point you can't let them drive.
But they are still driving. A 4-month 9 Wants to Know investigation found more than 4,000 people have been charged with a felony for their 4th DUI. Or their 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th, since the law took effect in August 2015.
The approach that we want to take on
Arapahoe County DA George Brockler sees them as a stark threat.
Is to view these repeat drunk drivers in many ways like someone who shoots off a gun over a neighborhood.
Sooner or later, a bullet's gonna hit someone.
Christmas Eve, we had a wonderful weekend. The whole family was there.
But Charlie, 6 years old, was sick.
I remember standing in the kitchen and I said, do you want me to go with you? And she said, no, you stay here and help out with the other kids.
Sancy called and sent pictures from the clinic, no strep, and again from a gas station on her way back to Evergreen.
And I'll see you in a half an hour. And I said, all right, love you.
Brett kept expecting headlights in the driveway, but they never came. Finally, a phone call.
And the trauma surgeon said, we have a unidentified young girl here, and that she was flight for life here. And I said, yes, that's my daughter, Charlie. And I said, where is my wife? And he said, I'm sorry, I don't know any information about your wife.
Then another phone call from a victim's advocate.
He said, I'm sorry to inform you over the phone, but your wife didn't make it.
It was the middle of the night when Brett finally got to Charlie's bedside.
She was hooked up to every monitor known to man and had tubes everywhere. And I didn't think there was any possible way that she was going to ever leave this hospital.
The driver of the Silverado.
A hospital waiting room TV brought a new dimension to the family's pain.
She may have been under the influence of both alcohol and marijuana.
I remember my father-in-law got up and he shut the TV off, and we broke down.
That 62-year-old woman was Cheri Goodard, and her blood alcohol level was .203, more than twice the legal limit. If she hadn't died, she would have been charged with felony DUI. It was her 5th. There was one in 1996, and there'd been others in 1999, in 2001, and in 2014 when she nearly hit a state trooper head-on outside Gunnison. Her BAC that day was 3 times the limit. Cheri Goodard isn't unique. Like Todd Grodzinski, accused of killing Angela Wimmer, they're symbols of Colorado's ongoing DUI problem. People still drinking, still driving. people, 9 Wants to Know found that cops, DAs, judges, counselors, and legislators haven't been able to get off the roads.
Certain things we're never going to be able to forget.
Like the morning after the crash.
I should have been drinking coffee with my bride on Christmas morning, watching our kids open up their presents. And instead, I had to sit my boys down and explain to them that their mother loved them very much and that she was extremely proud of them and that I don't want them to ever forget that. And then explain to them that she had been in a tragic car accident, that their sister was in the hospital fighting for her life, and their mom had died.
And yet, 7 weeks later, Brett talks about Charlie, and that flicker returns.
She's a living, breathing miracle that fortunately I get to be with today and in the future. She has a lot of spunk in good ways and bad ways, but she is a joy and just a light to be around.
Cheri Goodard, like many drunk drivers, got a lot of chances, including work release on her last jail sentence. She blew that when she returned to the lockup drunk.
People are going to be very encouraged to hear how well she's doing.
How Charlie's doing.
How Charlie's come along, in the last couple of weeks here. Yeah. As your series continues, as you unveil what you've come up with in the last 4 months, what are we looking at tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, we're going to look at the sentences that were handed out in every one of the 2,346 felony DUI cases that have been adjudicated so far. The ranges, how many people went to prison, how many people didn't go to jail or prison, all of that.
Thank you, Kevin. These are hard stories to hear, but we're glad you're telling them. Thanks.
Thank you.